morning, and welcome to another drive time with Summer. It's been a very long time since I've done this, and this is a very weird camera setup, I know. So this is a take two because the camera is very wobbly. My phone keeps falling off of the thing. I don't know. I'm going to have to figure this out. But it's been a really long time since I've done these videos, and well, I've really struggled over the past year. And if you have watched these videos, if you have listened to my podcast, you've probably realized that I've struggled a lot in the last year to put out content and stuff, and there's been several reasons for that, but one really big reason has been central to that. And so today I kind of wanted to talk about that. Part of it is bringing awareness of mental health and depression, because I have had a lot of depression over the last year because of things that have happened, and it's affected not only my videos and my podcast, it's affected my work, it's affected my family and things, and it's just been a really difficult year. So I want to throw that out there. Even therapist gets depression, and it's okay to ask for help. I have my people that I ask for help. I have people that I talk to, so it's okay to talk to somebody. It's okay to go to a professional. It's good to have people that you talk to. It's good to see a professional when life is getting you down, when there's a lot that you need to unpack and you need to process. I am very lucky to have a lot of very talented professionals around me that I can process and unpack things with, that help me and support me. And so, yes, I do lean on other people, and yes, I do seek professional treatment when I need to. So I highly urge others who are feeling depressed or who are struggling with things to please seek help, because there's nothing wrong with it. In fact, it can be quite nice to talk to somebody and to have somebody non-judgmental who's not going to jump in and, want to talk about themselves and, what they're going through and, try to make it a contest. Who's just going to listen and truly listen and teach you tools that can help you to get through things and to give you encouragement and to help you to process and unpack those things that are really bothering you, and sometimes to point out and identify and connect the dots that you might not have ever connected. So I highly recommend, if you've never seen a counselor and you have some things going on, to see one. Okay, that's my spiel. But I have been going through some depression over the last year, and it's just been a lot of stuff. I work a lot too, so that's also been part of what keeps me from doing a lot of videos and doing a lot of podcasts. My work schedule keeps increasing. I have to say that I love my work, though. I love helping people. I love working with all of my people, honestly. I work with everybody from birth all the way through death. I truly specialize in working with little kids. I do a lot with Head Start kids, and I work a lot with families, and I love that work. I truly really going to help as their children get older. Because I know that I'm helping to build healthy families, and I'm helping to build that communication that is going to help those kids when they become teenagers, and they really need that. Those families are going to be healthy and connected, and I just love it. I also work with teenagers, and also helping build those connections, giving them a place that they can talk safely, and adults, same thing. I have been working with problematic sexual behaviors and doing some of those groups. I was a little bit leery when I started that, but I truly love it. I'm working with kids who've made some bad choices. They're not bad kids, they've just made some bad choices. And it's really amazing to watch the growth and the development and helping these kids to learn and to make better choices and have better lives. It's just truly an amazing thing. I'm also on the crisis team, and I take on extra nights whenever I can. Honestly, because I love the work. I really love working with people and getting in there when they are at their lowest, and getting to talk to them and getting to help them, and knowing that I'm there and I'm in a place that I can connect them with the help that they need, whether that is just listening to them talk, because sometimes they call the line and they just need somebody to talk to, and then getting them connected with somebody who can put a plan together for them so they know who to talk to, who to call, where to get help the next time they're feeling like that. Or those who truly need to go inpatient and get help before they harm themselves, and I get to help connect them with those people that will get them that bed. And I love that. I love being a piece in that. I'm truly part of a team. It takes an entire team to do the work, and I'm just one piece of that team, but I love being a part of it. And we have a great crisis team, I have to tell you. Anyway, so that's a lot of what I've been doing, and that's 8 minutes of me just blabbing about what I've been doing. But that's not really what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about one of the big things that I've been processing for the last year, and I am finally ready to open up and talk about, and that is what my 23andMe experience and how I connected with family I didn't know I had, and some of the unpacking I've been doing. This is going to be my story. I'm only sharing my story, so I apologize in advance if you're looking for some family gossip or anything like that, because that's not my story to tell, and I'm only telling my story. But here we go. Honestly, my story starts a long time ago, because I really got interested in genealogy way back. You know, my family, my grandfather's, my maternal grandfather's family, several years ago, I want to say probably 20 years ago, did a genealogy report, and they had done it all the way. They had followed family from Wales all the way over and across the U.S. into Oklahoma, which was very interesting. And that was when I really started grandma's family and my father's family, and, you know, where do I come from? What all am I? Because I had never really thought about that. And this was before they did the DNA kits. This was way back. They did have Ancestry, but they didn't have the DNA kits. And so at one point I did get Ancestry.com, and I started working on it, but it was expensive, and at the time we couldn't afford it. So I did it for a little while, and then I stopped. But, you know, it was very fun and interesting. I had a project in grad school, and a cultural counseling class that I had to do, talking about my parents' families. And, well, it was really difficult because at this time I didn't have any contact with the man that I thought was my biological father. And so the only thing I knew was his name, and I knew his parents' names. And that was really it. Like, I didn't know. I knew some of my aunts and uncles' names. I had some vague memories from when I was little, because, you know, I had been around them until I was about 7, but I didn't know anything. I didn't know how to get a hold of him and stuff. And I talked to my mom a little bit, but after going back and forth with her, I did go to my professor, and I talked to her, and I was like, you know, I just don't know this information. And she told me that I needed to take this opportunity to reach out and contact him and find it out that it was part of my grade. And after going back and forth, at that time, I decided I would get an incomplete on the assignment because I did not want to reach out and contact him. It wasn't anything that I was interested in, and so I put the information I knew, and I left it at that. And when I presented it, she asked me why I hadn't taken her advice and contacted him, and I told her that I just, after a lot of soul searching and talking to my mother, and my mother telling me that, you know, she did have some contact information with an aunt that could get me in contact with him, but I chose not to, because I made the decision that if he wanted contact with me, he would get a hold of me. I wasn't going to seek him out because he was the one who left me. And I left it at that. Yeah, sore subject, and she told me I needed to do some work around that, and she was right. I did need to do some work around that, but at the time I wasn't ready to do that work. And I did, I mean, I got a passing grade on it, but it wasn't an A, and I just lived with it and moved on. So let's fast forward many years and go to last July. My husband, my wonderful husband and children, got me a 23andMe kit because I've been talking about it. I've actually been talking about one for several years, and his brother, Scott's brother, had done one and had shared his information with Scott, because, you know, they shared DNA, and was telling him about his information and stuff. And I thought it was really neat, and I really wanted to do it. And so they got me one for my birthday, and I was so excited because, you know, I really wanted to know my genetic information, you know, where I came from, what, you know, what my culture was, because I grew up and basically, you know, I knew my family about my father's family. I don't know. I just wondered what my heritage was. So I did it, and I was so excited, and I waited, and I got it back, and oh, I was so happy to get it back and see, I mean, my heritage is basically English, Wales, Ireland, and some German. And so that was pretty interesting. Absolutely zero Native American, which is highly interesting living in Oklahoma, living in the United States, period, and being born and raised in Oklahoma and not having any Native American was very interesting. But anyway, I also showed a half-sister, which was surprising because at this point I had contact with the man I thought was my biological father. He had contacted me, and we had talked, and we had met after I moved back to Oklahoma, and well, he told me he had never had any other kids. So I was surprised, and I thought maybe this was a child he didn't know about. But this was in July, and I didn't reach out. Honestly, I think I was a little bit afraid to reach out. I didn't know what I was going to find. I didn't know if this was going to be something that was going to blow up in my face. So I didn't. I left it. And in October, she reached out to me, which I was excited. I was really excited to hear from her. Because I was scared. I honestly, I was very scared. Because I was afraid that this was going to be something that she wasn't going to want, or it was going to unleash a big can of worms that neither one of us was going to be happy with. And well, it did unleash a big can of worms. But I found out that the man that I thought was my biological father wasn't. And I had a biological father that I didn't know about. And I'm not going to share that story because that's not really my story to tell. But I will tell you that I talked with my sister, and oh, I absolutely love her. She is so amazing. And then she connected me with our other sister and my brother, and they too are so amazing, and I love them. And well, I met them. They talked to my father, and after a bit, he wanted to meet me, and I did meet him and his wife, who's my stepmother, and I really, really liked them. And I got to meet my grandparents before they passed. Amazing people. There is a big, long history there. Again, not my story to tell. But I will tell you that I found a family that I love. A family that, like any family, they have their issues, they have their problems, they have things. But they accepted me. And they have been accepted come to realize that I've had 3 men in my life that might not be perfect and that have come and gone and come back into my life at different times, and are a part of my life when I needed them. You know, I was raised by a stepfather that I love. He was my dad. He was my daddy. He was the man that raised me from the time I was about 5 years old until I was an adult when he passed away. And he's always going to be my daddy. He's the one that I think of as the man who raised me. I have another dad that stepped in and adopted me when I was a baby, and although he left and stepped out of my life, he came back into my life, and he's made some efforts to get to know me, to get to know my kids. And you know, he has a very different personality. He's very kind of reclusive and isn't really out there, but he's a nice man, and he's there, and he's there for me. I know he's there for me, and he supports me, and he wants to be my dad. He wants to be there. And then I have a dad that I didn't know about, that for reasons that are not mine, I didn't grow up with. I knew nothing about, but he's there now, and he wants to be part of my life, and he wants to be part of my kids' life, and he has a very active role in my life right now, and I do love him, and I do feel like he's there, and so that makes me happy. I don't feel